Hi, thank you so much for meeting with me. I'm conducting a research project for my management course, trying to understand what factors improve or harm an employee's performance at work, and I'd love to just pick your brain for a bit and hear your experiences and opinions. Do you mind if I record this so I can refer back to it later?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome, thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about your current role and what a typical workday looks like for you?
Yeah. So I am creative director of a small experiential events production company in New York City. There are 4 full-time employees, myself included, with 6 part-time consultants as well. And we produce experiential events throughout New York City and sometimes in other cities throughout the U.S.
Yeah, and how would you personally define good performance in your role?
Well, that's a good question. Being such a small company and being creative director, I have to be able to come up with new events to add to our annual calendar that obviously create revenue for the company. So I have to know the marketplace. I have to know what our client or customer will spend and what they want every year.
Yeah, and what helps you do that the best? Is there something your manager can do to put you in a good position to achieve that, or is there something you can do personally to put yourself in a good position to perform your best?
Yeah, it's both. It's my manager can always, we sit and we come up with budgets. We kind of figure out what's worked in the past, and we have we try to define, who our client and consumer is every year. And then personally, I have to really know the trends of entertaining, what people want, what people, don't know they want yet, and what kind of the threshold for spending money on an experience is for our client.
Yeah, and in such like a small company, obviously you and your coworkers are probably very tight-knit. Can you share an example where that tight-knit relationship helped you improve?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're tight-knit. It's a family-run company, so we're super tight-knit, right? But it's hard. Right now, we're remote. When we do come together and we have meetings in person, it definitely helps our rapport with everyone. The whole company's not family, obviously, but the people who work with, who just came on board, who are not family, we have to make sure they feel like family, if that makes any sense. So everything that we do, we have to invite them to. We have to make sure everyone feels involved, everyone's included. Yeah, so I mean, it's funny when you have a company like this because, or I guess any company, so it's not just personal, it's also business. You have to find a way to meld the two together to make it work.
Yeah, and obviously you said that you want to make them feel like family too, and that's obviously recognizing their achievements. Can you recall a time where either your achievements or a coworker's achievements were recognized and that made them perform better?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one woman who works with us, she's young, she's about 25 years old, and she doesn't have a whole bunch of experience, and she's slowly learning on the job. But I feel like when she does something that is successful, like we very much celebrate her and her achievements, and I think that's helping her kind of I think it helps her make it. It's hard coming into a company when you're so young, when everyone else has so much experience, and I think that when she does have success and we all celebrate around her, it makes her feel more comfortable to try new things and work harder.
Does your company's culture and values influence how you perform? Why or why not? Does that impact you at all?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So, we have to set a standard for ourselves of, what we will supply our guests and what we, how we produce our events, where our events are produced, and we've just recently taken on a charity that we've affiliated ourselves with, which is really cool. And I think that gives everyone in the company a sense of pride, just to know it's not just for a profit. We're actually giving back to New York City with every event that we produce.
Yeah. And to kind of switch points here a bit, what's the biggest obstacle that you face that gets in the way of good performance?
I think it would be having such a small company and everyone constantly having to wear different, hats at any given moment. That can help you and also can hinder you depending on where you are in the, production timeline of something. It's just difficult. You have to make sure that everyone's like super organized when you have a small team and that everyone's on track doing, what they need to do.
Yeah, and switching roles at so many points in a given day can obviously be very stressful.
Yeah.
Does that buildup of workload or lack of resources impact performances at all?
I don't think so. I think if you have the right team, it shouldn't. And I think that's a good sign of someone who's, or a company that's managed well is, people understanding what they, where they need to pick up slack or when they need to say, I'm too full right now, I need some help. Communication is always best for something like that. So if you have a team who can say, hey, I'm here to help out, or I'm stressed, I need help, that's a good sign.
So would you say that just transparency in general is the best for positive relationships?
Definitely. Communication and transparency. Yeah.
Yeah, and with communication, have you ever seen poor communication or maybe some internal conflict within the company hinder anything?
Yes,
and if so,
absolutely.
Could you give an example of that? Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. Absolutely. I think going back to just communication, someone will say, for example, like if you send an email over the weekend, which, people don't have to respond on the weekend, but if you're, in it and you're working and let's say someone does what you ask of them in that email, but does not respond to you that it's done. And now you have to double down and ask on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, has this been done? I haven't and they, oh yes, I did that. So now you're wasting time asking when I think, it's a good practice just to always make sure you respond to someone. It doesn't have to be on the weekend, but in a timely manner, oh, this is done. And someone can say, oh, thanks so much. You don't have to respond back. Or you don't have to double down and ask again if it's done.
Yeah. And what about management style? Obviously, like depending on the personality, managers can lead in very different ways. Is there a specific type of way that helps you get the best out of you?
That's a good question, right? I don't know. I think if I would like to say what gets the best out of me is giving me my kind of marching orders and then some freedom to be able to do what I need to do. And then that I feel like that gives me the creative outlook to kind of create what I want to create. And I think that works for me.
Yeah, and kind of in the reverse of that, is there a management style that hinders your performance and makes you feel like you're not doing the best of your ability?
Yes, when someone is constantly kind of like riding me, telling me what I have to do, when I have to do it, I think, not giving someone their space to do what they have to do.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you could change one thing about your workplace to improve your own or just general performance, what would it be?
You know what? If you talked to me like 5 years ago, I wouldn't say this, but right now I would say I do more in-person, day-to-day office as opposed to now we're remote, and I actually think it hurts us. I think it's better to be in person more than remote.
Yeah, obviously COVID changed a lot of those things. Have you seen any drastic differences in terms of employee relationships now that so much is remote?
Yeah, it's not there. The rapport is, it's there. It's just, it's not the same. You're not doing lunches every day with each other. You're not, able to pop into someone's office and say, hey, what do you think? Or, can you look at this for me? Or just great outfit. It's just that those little things throughout the day that you don't get remote, that makes a big difference.
And what advice would you give to a company that wants to maximize their employees' performance?
Another good question, Chase. So I would definitely invest in my team's. First and foremost, I would ask each team member what they want to do with their long-term career and where they see themselves, and then kind of like hopefully match that with some sort of guidance and education in the best that we could in our company. But as in addition to that, just getting to know them personally and making sure that you can, support them not just monetarily in the company, but also their personal life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry, let me just find this here. Is there anything else you think is important that that drives good or bad performances that we haven't talked about yet?
You know what? Yeah, maybe there may be, especially a team like ours that is so small. Sometimes the newer people, the newer team members, or the lower level team members may not be involved in all of the day-to-day meetings or some of the meetings that we deem necessary for the CEO or whoever. And I think that hurts them a little bit because it might seem like they may feel out of touch or they're not as relevant. So maybe incorporating meetings with the whole team just to do it, not just status, but kind of like, hey, what do you think on this topic to all the team members?
Yeah.
Just including them.
Yeah. And I missed this question earlier, so just to circle back a bit, but how do you think training, learning opportunities, or mentorship programs impact somebody's performance?
I would say they only improve them. If you the more you train someone and give them your time and attention, I think it's you're going to get a lot better performance from anyone. Like, for example, we do a weekly status meeting, and we just recently implemented a weekly brainstorming meeting, right? Where everyone, regardless of their title or status, gets on this meeting and they can talk about, events or experiences that they would like to do in the future or they would like to present to our clients. And, there's obviously no wrong answer. There's no wrong topic. And we all talk, and it's fun. That's one of my favorite meetings of the week. And we just brainstorm, and we have a creative outlet for everyone, which is really nice. And I think that benefits everyone, every single person on the team, because not only do you get to know each other on a different level, but you also, give everyone the opportunity to have a voice in the company.
Yeah, and have you seen any either events or just has anything ever come from one of those meetings that you brought into actual?
Yeah, lots of things come from those meetings, and they've come from people who just joined the team, obviously people who've been part of the team for a long time, but we've done lots of things from those meetings.
Yeah. And
some successful, some not, but we do. We'll definitely try, a few things that come out.
Yeah. And have you ever gotten a piece of advice from a manager or a coworker throughout your whole career that really stuck with you and helps your performance to this day?
A piece of advice that has stuck with me. You know what? It's easier to figure out a problem and to deal with it than it is to write someone off and just kind of figure out a way to work with that person. Absolutely. It always works out for the best, not just for your relationship with them, but for the company rather than, ending that relationship.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your time and your insight. I know that was a lot, but your input really helped me develop my analysis. Would it be okay if I followed up later with any short questions if I need later clarification?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.